Merhaba Semiramis Hanım.
Merhaba.
Neredeyiz bugün?
Bugün albüm bakıyoruz. Evet. Böyle birkaç tanesine dedim hep beraber bakalım. Enteresan şeyler var. Yani hayat eskiden fotoğraflarda geçiyordu. Şimdi aynı şey değil tabii ama bu da güzel. Eski plak gibi.
Fotoğraflara bakmayı sever misiniz?
Severim çok. Görmüyor musun? Bütün her tarafta fotoğraflar var. Ben fotoğraf çok severim. Çok çok severim. Çünkü bana o güzel günlerimi hatırlatıyor. Güzel hatıralar. Ben seviyorum arada güzel şeylere bakmayı, hatıralara.
Peki bugün aslında teknolojinin ilerlemesiyle fotoğraflar telefonlarımızın içinde kalıyor. Onlardan bastırdıklarınız oluyor mu?
Bazen maalesef biraz tembellik yapıyorum. Aslında biraz bastırıp bunları bile belki hafif hafif değiştirmem lazım ama görüyorsun ki hayat nasıl değişiyor değil mi? Yani eskiden şey gibi plak vardı, plak çalardık. Sonra kaset oldu, kaset dinlemeye başladık. Şimdi her şey telefondan böyle bir bastığın zaman her şeyi harekete geçirebiliyorsun.
Peki bugün bir sürprizimiz var.
Evet, bakalım.
İlk defa bir konuğumuz olacak.
Evet, ilk defa bir konuğum olacak ama o konuğum 35 senedir benim hayatımda. Onun için öyle bir yani yabancı bir konuk değil. Gulucuğum, Gulu, come darling, and I would like to introduce you to, and Gulu is benim eski eşim. Come darling, come and sit down and we're going to have a chat about
Yeah,
our
sure.
life. And to our life and to go to back and see how our life was and everything. Yes.
O zaman benim merak ettiğim sorulardan devam edeyim.
Fine.
Nasıl tanıştınız?
Now they're always curious about how did we meet. Actually, we didn't meet. We've been introduced,
yes.
right?
I just remember the mutual friend of ours wanted me to meet her. I did not know her, and at that time I had just been divorced and I didn't want to have any relationship with another woman.
Serious relationship.
Serious relationship with another woman, yeah. But she's very nice, you have to meet her. I said, okay, I'm having a party in 3 weeks' time. I've got a very nice guy, bring her, and she'll meet him, as I'm not interested. But lo and behold, when she arrived, I remembered her from not meeting her, seeing her somewhere else, and I thought that was a great woman. I would love to get to know her. In the meantime, I had already fixed up a date for her at my party, so I told this girl who was trying to introduce us, I said, okay, you be this guy Bob's date, because I didn't tell, you see the brunette, Semiramis was blonde. Thank God I didn't tell Bob, I've got a blonde date for you or a brunette. I said, Renuka, you become the date for Bob. I want to get to know her. And that's how it happened. So we met accidentally through a mutual friend.
İşte bazen hayatta kader diye bir şey var. Şöyle ki bana onun çok yakın arkadaşı dedi ki bizi davet etti, evinde davet var. Dedim ki ben öyle tanımadığım insanın evine davet falan. Ne olur Semiramis'cim söz verdim, yalvarırım falan deyince hala benim arkadaşım tabii. En yakın arkadaşlarımdan biri, onun da çok yakın arkadaşı. Dedim ki kırmayayım bu kızı, nasıl olsa dedim. Ben çok Hintli tanımıyorum, Londra'da hiç tanımıyorum. Bir kere giderim, bir daha da görmem dedim kimseyi oradan dedim. Bak başımıza gelene 35 sene karı koca olduk.
I have a question. What made you think this is the woman I want to marry?
He didn't think that.
No.
He thought he liked me, but I don't know. You tell them that.
Well, it was a few weeks before this party. I was at dinner with some friends in Harry's Bar in London, and they were telling me, I want this girlfriend of mine to meet you, have dinner with her and so on. She's very nice. And suddenly we were having dinner in Harry's Bar, and my friends who I was with said hello to a woman leaving Harry's Bar. So I said to Deborah, I said, why didn't you talk about her? Who's she? She said, oh, she's already taken, she's got a boyfriend. So I forgot all about
He
her.
said,
But
"Oh,
then I
arada."
connected her.
He said, "I want this
I
one."
want her. I said, that's the one. I said, that's the one you've been talking about, all these girls. But what about, you know her, what about her? That's the one I want. And she said she's taken, she's got a boyfriend. And then 3 weeks later, when I was having a party, she shows up and I was trying to fix her up without having known who she is to this other guy as a blind date. And this is
The plans are changed.
Plans changed.
Remember, he was like a he was like in front of a toy store child. I want this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the friends of ours, remember, always remembered that.
Yeah, that's right.
Always remembered that. You wanted her.
Yeah, correct. So they did not know. They told me she's already got a boyfriend. And then I meet her through somebody else, and then, oh my God, you said you wanted her. How did you both catch up?
That was very funny.
Tissue from there, please.
Sure. Sure.
I think it will also be interesting for the younger generation to hear your success story, because there is a huge success story behind.
My business started by accident in London, in Leeds actually, in UK. My father sent all of us to study abroad and come back into the family business in India. And this was 1956. I'm the youngest among 4 brothers. The brother above me, Pattab, and I were sent to study in England. And we were given 1 car to share between us and a 2-bedroom apartment in Leeds. And Leeds is not like London, so not many fancy places to go to on free days. And there was a students' club, and we used to meet there. And in those days, if students had a bicycle, they were lucky. So my brother and I had a car to share. And there were 2 other Jewish brothers whose father died during the Hitler days in Germany. And they both had a sports car each. And in those days, 1956, to have a sports car was a big thing. So I got to know both of them and said, how do you manage to have a sports car? They said, we help our mother, who's in the costume jewelry business, and go down to London every week to buy products for her, and sometimes we can't get enough of what we need. So I got curious. I said, can I come to your mother's warehouse to see what are the things that you can't get? So I go there, and the product they couldn't get was pearl necklaces, which had a ticket made in Hong Kong on it. And said, we can't get enough of these. You said, all we get. So I knew my father had contacts in Hong Kong, so I bought a couple of samples of those necklaces and told my father, I want to start some business and give me some contacts of your business friends in Hong Kong. I want to buy another car because my brother and I were always arguing. Sometimes he had a date, he needed the car, and I needed the car as well. So we used to toss up and see who can have the car the next evening. So I said to my father, I want to start a business to be able to buy a car. I don't want you to spend the car for us. So he gave me the contacts and lent me £500, which I borrowed from him, which £500 in those days was $1,250 US, or $1,500. He said, but don't buy the car until you make profit from the business. So I got samples, anyway, cut the long story short, I was able to find those same pearl necklaces at a price that I could double my selling price. So in one shipment, which was £500 worth of shipment, I was able to sell for more than £1,000. So £500 was my profit. And in those days, for £500, which was $1,200, $1,500, you could buy a new car.
Tell me, how long it took you to buy the car you wished to have?
Yes, my dream was to buy a Rolls Royce one day, and by the age of 21, I made enough money to be able to buy a Rolls Royce.
But that shows you.
In those days, my hobby was, I was a kind of a wild bachelor. I used to change my cars and girlfriends every 6 months because I was making a lot of money in my business. So, and I decided, I told my father, I'm not coming back to the family business in India.
In a good way.
a UK citizen.
In a good way. No?
Yeah, in a very good way.
But tell me, you never told, I mean, I knew your success story very well, of course, because it's a known thing. But You didn't go back to the family business.
No.
But why did you, this time, did you want your children to be in your family business and you insist? Tell me about that.
That's true, yeah, that's interesting. Now, in India, our tradition is...
Yeah, I know, and here also is like that.
Yeah.
But I find that it's quite unfortunate because every individual has to, especially the young people with the huge generation differences, everybody has to do what they like to do, the children. But knowing yourself you didn't go back to your family business, why did you insist your children to be in your family business?
But if you remember, when Divya came back from graduation, she told me, Divya is my second child, and she graduated, came back from Babson. She said, Dad, I'm not joining the family business. I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And she started a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, but you did the exception.
But I resisted, if you remember. I said, you have no experience. And she
know.
was the founder of Zuma.
Exactly.
And it surprised me how successful she was. But then Zoran, our youngest son, I wanted him to join me in the business I created in Phuket. After MBA, he said, Dad, I don't want to join the family business, I want to do something else. And I was a bit disappointed.
I know.
Yes,
that's why I'm asking.
But I'm happy. Then I realized it took me a while, and you convinced me, let him do what he's good at, what he's happy at, and so on. I was, to be honest with you, disappointed.
You know why I want to hear from you? Because I talked about this subject to the families who insist their children has to go back to their family business. And I find it, and I always, then also I found it wrong, as you know. And why I ask you this question, also to hear from your mouth, it was a mistake.
It was a mistake, I agree with you.
That's what I want to know.
It was a mistake, but that was my old-fashioned thinking.
Exactly.
And
this is
now
what
I realize,
we do.
Yes,
I mean, you do on the family business, I do maybe in another area. But we must learn to, or also to respect the new generation's way of thinking and the way of looking at the world, you know. And this is why I ask you that question, you know, because I want my listeners to know that.
That you convinced me to let Zoran do what he wishes to do and what he loves to do. So I'm very happy with that.
Such an unhappy period, I'll never forget that.
I also have another question, but I will ask it in Turkish and you can translate it. Bizim kültürümüzde ailelerimiz eğitimden sonra da çocuklarına destek vermeye devam ediyorlar. Fakat Gulu Bey'in eğitimden sonra finansal desteğini çocuklardan kestiğini biliyoruz. Bunun sebebini, neden bu disiplini seçtiğini merak ediyorum.
Now, in our culture, in Turkish community, after the children graduates from their schools, their education, the families still do help for them until they make their own, stay on their feet. In your way was, the minute they finish their university school, and to cut them off for them to stand by their own feet. Now, what was the reason you were doing that?
I did that with Dino, our eldest son, if you remember, when he graduated. I used to give him a monthly allowance. I said, now you've graduated, now you're on your own.
I know. You did it to all
I did that to Dino, I did it to Divya, and I did it to Zoran.
But what is the reason at the back of it?
Because
you want them to go fast.
Children need to learn to stand on their feet, take on responsibility, and I think after graduation,
is the right time.
I think.
This is the answer.
To carry on supporting them, then they have no initiative to.
And that's also probably the reason why, even though you travel in business class, you always want your kids to fly in economy.
Yes, correct. Correct. I let the children travel economy, and we used to have a business class, first class, and little children. They have to learn to earn money. As parents, we support them to graduation, do everything for them. But there comes a time that they have to learn to stand on their feet, and I bought each of them their first house as well. For Dino and Divya, I bought the first house in London. For Zoran, wanted to have his first house in Switzerland. And we sent Zoran to school in Switzerland, and he fell in love with Switzerland. He became a Swiss citizen as well. And then, when time came for me to buy my house, I said, do you want something in London or what? No, I want to live here, and so we both chose a place for him.
Yeah. Anyway, he needed buy their first homes. It's not the minute they graduated, but to make kind of secure his children. Of course, he's you know.
I have another question. I just read on your Instagram, people don't decide their future. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. What were the habits that brought you to your success?
Because I always wanted to live a luxury life, and when I was a student, I had limitation from my father, allowance, like I give to my children. We had to share a car, but I just wanted to live more luxury life, and therefore I was determined to make a success on my own rather than live with my parents. We were 9 in the family, 4 brothers and 5 sisters. She knows all of them, so we're still, one sister passed away, we're still 8 in the family. And so I didn't want to be part of the big family. I wanted to lead my own life my way. And
he loves the Frank Sinatra's song "My Way."
Yeah.
That is his song.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. Well, you know, this is the way it is.
And do you think there are similarities in Turkish and Indian culture?
Very much so. Very much so. In fact, first time I took Semiramis for a holiday was in India, and she told me after the 3rd, 4th day, she said, I feel very much at home here.
She told us the story. She saw Atatürk Boulevard and she thought you changed the street name.
Yeah.
That was my biggest shame.
Yeah, that was
I
a
thought
funny
he
story.
did it.
Yeah, that was a funny story. Our first
so
holiday was in
funny.
India. The flight from London arrived late at night. It was dark. So the next day we were invited to somebody's home for lunch. It was Sunday morning. So the first road after the hotel was Atatürk Road. So she saw that, she said, oh my God.
Well, how did you do? Why did you do that? And she was in a shock.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't do
know
anything.
I know Kamal Atatürk is very much respected in India, but I didn't realize the road leaving the hotel was Kamal Atatürk Road. That was
so funny.
That was very funny.
That was our first trip ever. You know, it was very funny.
Yeah, it was very funny.
It was a funny story.
And then we were guests during the New Year. What year was it? 1986, 87, or something like that. We were guests of Maharaj of Jaipur.
The same trip.
Same trip, yeah.
We
same
went
trip.
from 1986, end of 86, because from there we went to Jaipur with the Maharaja of Jaipur. I told them that story too.
Yeah, we were the guests of Maharaj of Jaipur for the Christmas and New Year. And one evening after dinner, he had a fortune teller, his favorite fortune teller from Jaipur. So after dinner, I didn't want to sit next to her in case, so we sat apart. And he saw her hand and so on. And she said, you're going to be married within 6 months, and you're going to have a son as your first child. So I sat apart of 4 or 5.
Another son,
yeah.
he said.
And
that
then
was very interesting.
He came to me and said the same thing. And funny enough, within 6 months, it was December, it was Christmas time.
We got married in June.
In June, yes. It was incredible. So he was so accurate. And we had a son later, so the guy was a genius. I mean, he was really I know in Turkey you don't believe in fortune telling and so on, right? Do you?
No, but he was astrologer.
Astrologer, yeah.
He was a live-in astrologer, if you remember. I remember very well. And he wouldn't, the bubbles wouldn't move without
Correct,
his
the
guidance.
Therefore wouldn't do anything without his, even if we wanted to take a trip to Europe or America, no, don't go this day, don't go another day, and so on. But similarities, to answer your question, there are lots of similarities now. I get to know Turkey more and more. I feel at home very much, except I don't speak the language. It's my problem, my fault, because all my friends speak English. And same, she felt at home. There are many very similarities.
No, the hospitality, misafirperverlik, ikram, and everything is very similar. Very similar, and the people also very similar. Everybody is busy with other people's lives. I couldn't believe it's actually the Indians are a little bit further.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, they're really, really interested with other people's lives.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
But they're very, very hospitable. Like it's even more hospitable than us. And very warm, very loving, very nice people, no?
She organized my 80th birthday in Turkey.
And he loves Turkish people.
And I had friends from all over the world. We had over 100 people. We had a 3-day in Antalya, was it?
Antalya.
So I have another question. Looking back at your childhood, is there anything that you felt was missing, that you tried to provide to your own children?
Yes, I did a lot more for my children than in the older days. When I think back...
He did.
When I think
in
back...
the old days they were much more strict, no?
Because, you know, because I became westernized because I lived in London since the age of 16. So then I got into more westernized habits, more freedom to the children, and therefore, out of 9 in the family, I'm a bit different. We're a very close family, as Semiramis knows, but my thinking is a bit different to the rest of my brothers and sisters. We love each other, but we have different ways. You've seen that my way is a bit more westernized, therefore, I give more freedom to them.
Ben size bir şey sormak istiyorum.
Sorry?
I'm asking another question now. After 35 years, you are not married, but I see 2 close friends.
Oh, yeah.
How did you achieve this? Because usually when 2 people get divorced, we are used to like bad energy. But I see great positive energy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's very different.
Because I think it's the respect.
Yeah.
Love and respect. Because at the end of the day, we are 2 very nice, I hope, we're very nice 2 human beings. And we do respect each other very lovingly.
Love and respect for each other.
It's very important. Now, he's a very important man in Thailand, Phuket, and he loves to live there, and he's right. You know, I do understand that. And he understands, at this point of my life, I like to be at home also. And for that, we talk about things, you know, and we don't argue about things, which is very unusual, really.
Yeah, we have some
still love. I mean, he's still my family, and I hope I'm still your family.
Of course, of course.
Because I still do care, and he does too.
Mutual.
He does care for me too. I know that.
Respect. She has my homes are her home. She has a home in London. She has a home in Gençlere in Switzerland. She has a home in Phuket, so she can come.
No, thank you.
My homes are always open.
My little home is yours too.
Yeah. Yes,
and
yes,
you know that. Anyway, no, it is respect. I think respect, loving respect. That is our secret.
I didn't have that with my first wife because Semiramis has a way. I mean, I'm civilized with her. In fact, she was also my guest at Christmas in Phuket with her children, not 2 other children. But it's not the same at all, because her thinking is different, and Semiramis' thinking brought us the mutual love and respect. So it doesn't often happen, and you're right. Most divorced couples don't want to talk to each other.
They accumulate too much anger and irrespectful feelings, and that's not nice. I mean, the life is too short, and you know, the people who spend so much, I mean, such a long time together, it can't be more, you know, anything else but love, two loving human beings.
How do you find Semiramis' new works?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought of this a couple of days ago. I'm glad she's doing this. I find her younger and more enthusiastic, because doing nothing is not the way to live. I feel this is her passion, what she's saying, sharing
Lots of fun.
life and working with you, which she enjoys very much, and keeps her happy. And I saw her this time after a year, and I said to her, you look younger now than you did a year ago. Honestly, genuinely, because she's working hard, she's enjoying what she's doing, so she doesn't feel tired about it, which is good. When you enjoy something, then there's no stress. People say, oh, I'm stressed and so on. I don't think this kind of thing stresses her at all, so
no,
I told her to keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah. These are interesting. You haven't seen them so long,
I haven't seen
no?
God, these are great memories. I haven't seen these pictures for 30 years now.
30 years. Keeping them.
You once told us the wedding story.
Yeah.
The wedding was cancelled because we argued.
Yeah.
I told this story before.
Was it hard to convince her to get married?
You explain the reason why?
Yes, I did.
My ex-girlfriend.
But three ex-girlfriend was invited, and
we went through the guest list, and she saw the list of my ex-girlfriend among the list, and she said, how can you do that, and so on.
Because we promised, I mean, we talked about that anyway, but 3 weeks later, we got the same
we got cancelled.
slot.
So, yeah, so we had invited 200-300 people. We had to cancel that, and then we wanted to get back together and go back together. So the cancellation letters went out to everybody. And
it was a disaster.
Then we decided to spend the weekend together in Bath, I think I remember, and then we decided to get married.
Not the weekend, but anyway.
Yeah.
I told them all the story.
Good, so we told them already.
Why was your ex-girlfriend in the list?
Actually, my sister invited her, and it should definitely exit, it's all finished. My sister was very, I have 5 sisters, one of them was very close to me. It was her friend, and she had introduced me to a girlfriend who became a girlfriend. So she was on the list because she added her. So Semiramis thought I'm still in touch with her, which I wasn't, and that's what happened.
Well,
So,
I mean, it happens, these things, in two youngsters.
Yeah. So,
It was
but it
very
was
funny.
fun to see these beautiful pictures.
It's nice, no? Look at the Zoran's bird.
Oh yeah, really
Look
fun.
from here.
How was Zoran's childhood?
This is the first moment.
Yeah.
You know, Zoran came out with his hand up because I had to have a cesarean section. My first child was a cesarean, and the second had to be. It was so funny. They were all there. The classic music was going on like crazy, and remember?
Yeah.
And here he was coming with his hand up. I'm here. Look at that. Oh my God.
Glad you saved these pictures. I think
Of
it's very nice.
course.
35 years
Look
ago.
at Divya.
Mhm.
So cute. It's nice. You see, these days nobody looks at these pictures. That's why I'm doing this, to leave something to Zoran to watch. I wonder if he's going to look at these pictures. I don't think.
Definitely, you would love to see this.
I don't think they do, dear.
Yeah.
I don't think they
I'm
do.
so glad
That's so sweet.
That
And yeah, we
so
have
brother,
my mother and
these are such great memories. I'm seeing them first time after 35 years.
yeah. Well, you see, you didn't have time to look at it. Then you know, how do you expect our children to do that?
How was Zoran as a child?
He was very naughty. He was so naughty, I can't tell you.
But we have naughtier grandchildren.
Tell them a story. Yeah, but tell them a story when you had a friend here and they thought you have twins because Zoran went down.
Yes, I told the story. No, it's a notary man came on this table and he was 1 minute here, 1 minute there, and I told the story.
Yeah.
I mean, that explains how fast he was.
Well, I have one last question for today. I've just seen your post on Instagram. If you focus on the known, you get to know. If you focus on the unknown, you create a possibility. What did you mean?
What I mean is, see, I come from the electronics industry background, and new inventions only happen when you try to think of the unknown. How can we do this better, and so on. And I can go back to my days when historically we used to listen to music on those long playing records. I don't know, you probably, none of you would remember that. Then came CDs, then came tape, and now everything is wireless, no more CDs, etc. And if you remember at my time when I started business, they were called long playing records, huge.
Of course, I have one.
You know about those.
Of course.
Yeah. So therefore, what I'm saying is, you have to focus on the unknown to always think there's a better way to do things. If you don't think like that, new things won't come. If you think this is the only tradition, this is the only way, then you're not going to progress. Life is not going to progress, and you're not going to progress. So I always think of the unknown.
My last question is, what do you advise to youngsters? And let me tell you your answer. Work, right?
Yes, that's true.
Work hard. That is his motto.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always a very hard-working businessman.
How old are you today?
Today I'm 84.
And you are still working?
Yes.
I love my work. If I wouldn't, I enjoy work.
Working is his
But I
motto.
don't feel my age at all. I feel like 65. And I enjoy my work. I exercise regularly, right diet, I have a lot of young friends.
So, my last question. Can you describe Semiramis to us? What kind of a person is she?
Can I describe Semiramis?
Semiramis. What kind of a person I am in your eyes?
Yes, she's a wonderful. I just said, I have a lot of love and respect, mutual love and respect, and she's wonderful. In fact, let me give you an example. It's because of her that my children from my first wife, too, and Zoran, the three of them get on so well together that they feel like one, so, and that's her. I have to give you all the credit for that.
That's very
And she has a way with people, it's difficult, I don't know the word to describe it, but that's why our friendship is, and even though we're divorced, my children and my family have no difference. They all treat her. There's a family wedding happening in India, I'm telling you, 2 days ago, and she's invited there, so.
Yeah, the family is still a family, That's, of course, it's
so, even though we're legally divorced, and her main reason for the divorce was that I'm a workaholic. Remember you said I'm a workaholic?
Yes.
Yes. But I enjoy my work.
That's great. Then I understood. Well, thank you very much, Gulu. Well, it would be fantastic for my viewers to know you because you're a very dear and very valuable person, apart from the value in my life, but the valuable person to be here.
But I'd like your viewers to also get to know Zoran. Maybe one day you should
I will do that.
Zoran.
I will do that, but thank you for
and I also
joining
want
us.
your viewers to know that you are very special,
Oh,
and
thank
you're
you.
sharing private life with them, which is
Yeah.
unusual for them.
Because I have nothing to hide, you know,
right,
which is I'm proud of myself in that sense.
Keep it up.
And thank you.
Keep it up, Johnny.
And thank you
Keep
to
it up.
be
Keep it up.
part of it.